change. UK scientists are saying the bushfires in Australia are a warning of what may be to come around the world. This is in a report from the UK's Met Office. These scientists warn that if the planet increases by 3 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels by the end of this century, there could be fires of the kind we're seeing in Australia in many other places.
Oh boy, absolutely climate change. I would never have thought that this would suddenly sort of accelerate to this extent, but I think the carbon dioxide accumulating in the atmosphere and the global warming, the spontaneous like multiple fires all over like rural, dry New South Wales, it's telling. I mean, these are not arsonists. This is a climate catastrophe.
No matter what the first cause was, the lightning strike or whatever, it comes back to the fact of like climate change and capitalism, a system that puts profit over human need to the point where we have coal mines and bushfires and all that sort of stuff, and nothing's being done about it.
There was a lot of support from the Greenpeace, or not Greenpeace, like the Greens, to do like no backburning. That's a preventative thing that, especially in New South Wales, they have to do. Obviously, they had a good cause and a good purpose for it, but they didn't look at the things that could happen. So there are some good things for the backburning, but it also affects the environment.
Oh, I don't know. I think much
vandalism.
Much of it is nature too.
But silly
lightning, nature.
Yeah, but silly people dropping cigarettes
and
things.
Some.
Yes.
The conditions have taken lives. We've seen dozens of lives. People right across the East Coast have been killed in the fires, as well as the volunteers that have been killed trying to fight the fires. But then also we'll see hundreds and probably thousands more people whose lives will end earlier because of the toxic smoke they've been exposed to.
The fires have been right there, so we were there for the last 5 months, and they've affected the farmers, the citizens there. A lot of people have been displaced.
It's quite serious, and even just in Melbourne, when you're far away from the fires, like when I want to go out for a run, you can't really because of the weather, all the smoke quality and all that. So it's a bit, it's definitely a different change from what you normally experience.
It definitely affected some of my friends who work in more like heavy work, like in a heavy lifting and stuff, and they weren't able to do their jobs, so they were at risk of like, oh, am I going to get paid? Because their factories were getting shut down and stuff like that because of the smoke. It was too dangerous.
I'm sure they're doing their best. It's very difficult to criticise. Nature can give you a big whack now and then, and it's very hard to cover all bases, to cover every problem, isn't it?
I think they could be doing more. I don't want to blame them for everything, because obviously you have to look at what could everyone do. So pointing the finger is not going to actually resolve anything.
No, both major parties, Labor and Liberal, have been appalling at both state and federal levels in actually enacting change in the past 10 years. And in the people involved in it, I don't see how it's going to change in the next 5 years.
They're doing something, but I think it's the worst thing, which is that they're not funding the fireys any more than they're currently funded. They're building new coal mines instead of actually stopping emissions and stopping exports. And they're saying you have to rely on charities instead of just actually giving money to the people. So they're doing something, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing that they're doing, I think. I suppose as an individual, it feels like you can't do very much, and I think actually our power lies in, as an individual, committed to being someone who organises, and so who comes along to like what I do, which is Uni Students for Climate Justice meetings, saying, I'm going to help put up posters for the protest, I'm going to contribute my opinions and my power to actually making us stronger as a collective, because I think that's where our power lies, especially when we're ordinary people that don't have seats in Parliament and stuff like that.
Fossil fuel output, so driving less cars, catching public transport when you can, actually taking care with what you're recycling, so rather than just recycling. There's probably not too much you can really do to combat the fires as an individual person, but more broadly the environment as a whole.
There's very little an individual can do, I think. Well, we don't drive more than we need to. We don't use more than we need to. We don't. We recycle as much as we reasonably can, and we try to vote for policies that will bring about some improvement. Apart from that, what else can most people do?